Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV. We're broadcasting to you tonight from Sonoma Raceway, and we're here for the Star Mazda Australian Championship. So let's have a quick look at this track. It's quite an interesting track. It's total length only 3.2 kilometres. We're on the Cup configuration tonight. And I must say, it's a very tight track, lots of undulations, which you'll see in a moment when we do our hot lap, and not many passing opportunities. So it's going to be the qualifying tonight, getting up the top of that grid is going to be all important. So the total race distance tonight is 32 laps. They're going to have a fuel limit of 17.1 litres. They've got a medium downforce fixed setup tonight with one compulsory pit stop. So with the pit stop, they have to come in and pit from lap 3. The pit window will open and they have up until the last lap to make that pit stop. They don't have to take tyres, just fuel. Now, they'll have 2 fast repairs tonight and an incident limit of 35 incident points. So before we go any further, I'd like to introduce Chris Behan. Welcome, Chris, to the commentary box tonight. We're just having a look at this track. What are your thoughts about Sonoma, mate?
Yeah, g'day Bernie, and hello and welcome. It's going to be a very difficult track. It's a track that you mentally need to keep your wits about you because it's very busy, and I believe the setup that we've got tonight really you get a lot of drafting, so it's going to be very difficult for these drivers to get around the track nice and cleanly. It's a very grippy track. I felt it was very grippy track, and very busy, so I can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. We're having a look at this track overlay now, and I've had a bit of a run in the Star Mazda around here earlier in the week, and I must say there doesn't appear to be a lot of passing opportunities for these guys. Really, after turn 1 coming into turn 2, they may be able to make a move up until the bridge, but it tightens up after that. Chris, have you had a drive around here, and where do you think the drivers will be able to make their moves tonight?
Yeah, I had a go around the track a bit earlier in the week, and it's very difficult to find any kind of overtaking opportunities around here. You'll probably see a lot of diving under brakes and pulling out underneath another car in the draft. So there's a couple of spots, not too many, but we'll just have to see how it plans out. A lot of these, positions that might be made tonight, you'll probably find is with the drivers making mistakes. It's a very busy track, so we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. And having a look at the overlay, I think once they go up through turn 2 and turn 3 up over that blind crest on 3A, if a car gets a bit wide out there, I think we may see some guys trying to dive down the inside to 4A, but I tell you what, it's so narrow through 4A, you'd have to be a brave man to give that a go.
Oh, definitely, and a lot of these corners are blind as well, so if any drivers do get into a bit of a pickle, especially after the corner's been made, I just hope everyone else can make their way through nice and clean. So very difficult for these guys to overtake. Very difficult to get around the track nice and cleanly. So we'll have to see how the race stewards also take part, because there might be a lot of time gained with off tracks as well. I find coming over those couple of crests on the first half of that track, you can get a few off tracks, and it doesn't actually penalise you too much in terms of time. So we'll see how it plays out, and can't wait.
Yeah, definitely. And looking at 7A, that tight hairpin that they come down that straight, there may be a passing opportunity through there, but it's so tight. They're really going to have to cooperate if they're going to pass through there, Chris.
Oh, definitely, and you'll also find that the drivers that do overtake or take the opportunity to overtake on that corner are going to need to have a really good run coming out of the previous turn. It's got a lot of curbing, and it can really unsettle the car. So if the driver in front's under pressure and takes a few curbs and unsettles the car, coming down into that really tight right-hander, cars behind might be able to take that opportunity to overtake them.
Yeah, definitely. And then once they're through there, I think it's pretty much slipstreaming through all these sweeping S's all the way back down to turn 10, which is the last right-hander. It looks like the guys are going to hit that in 5th. Under toe could be 6th gear, but they're going to have to lift a bit. But really, from turn 7A all the way down to turn 10, I think that's just going to be setting them up to make a pass down the straight into the final corner of the hairpin on turn 11, and then back onto the straight 12. So is that your thoughts on that as well, Chris?
Yeah, I believe so too. Going through all those sweeping turns is too difficult to overtake throughout those turns, and you don't want to be too close to the driver in front as you're coming into those sweeping corners. If you can manage to get a bit of a draft, you really want to pull that draft coming right onto that last sweeping corner and get a good line coming into that last hairpin onto the main straight.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, folks, we're going to run out of time if we don't speed this up a bit. So we're lucky enough tonight to have Dylan Shepherd from One Performance Racing to take you on a hot lap around Sonoma. So turn your volume up and enjoy the ride.
Hey guys, it's Dylan from One Performance Racing. Yeah, Brad and I are just about to give you guys a quick hot lap for tonight's race. So we head on into the last corner here. You want to get a good run up for the start of your lap. Here we go. Flat out around these 2 corners. Go across the start finish line. Come in and back out. Line up for a nice entry into turn 1. Come back forth, play out to the left here. Quick shift down, hit your apex, back on the throttle. And come down here, watch where your brake marker is. Gear down. You can run right over this wiggle strip, make sure you don't hit that wall. Back down, fairly basic corner here, you just got to get on the apex, throttle as early as you can and back out. Then we're flat out all the way around here, just making sure you hold your lines right. I'm in draft at the moment, so I want to pick up a bit extra speed and I want to get to 6th gear, but without the draft, you normally just sit in 5th and hold this corner flat, but with the slipstream with Brad it's a little bit hard. Come here, back down the brakes, around the hairpin, back out. That's a lap of the Sonoma Cup circuit for tonight's race of Star Mazda Australian Championship. I'm Dylan Shepherd from One Performance Racing. Thanks for watching.
So there you go, folks. That was a lap around Sonoma with Dylan Shepherd from One Performance Racing. And as you can see from that, you can just see how fast these cars are around this circuit. I tell you what, Chris, they're going to have their hands full here tonight. I don't know how they're going to make it 32 laps around here in one piece, to tell you the truth.
You're exactly right, because it's very busy, and one slight mistake will send these cars off the track, and there's a lot of corners here that have concrete walls around them, so if any do get into a little bit of a pickle, it's going to be messy. We know they get a quick tow, so hopefully that doesn't hurt them too much throughout the race if they do get into a bingle, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. So we've just got live pictures now, folks. We've got 4 minutes to go to the end of qualifying, and we'll just take you quickly through our top 10 positions. So at the moment, Chris, we've got Josh Burden out in front with the 107.7, followed by Dylan Shepherd from One Performance Racing. Actually, he's very close. He's only 700ths of a second, I think.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah, that's right. So I guess, with the qualifying, I was telling the folks earlier that really that because of the style of this track, they want to be right up the front of this grid as much as they possibly can.
That's exactly right. You'll find that the front runners in this race will actually probably pull out a good gap in the first couple of laps because they have clean air. All the guys in the mid-pack vying for position, they're going to be hurting their lap times and they're only going to fall back. So obviously getting up the front of the field with as with most races, you really will benefit from getting away from the battles that happen within the mid-pack.
Yeah, definitely, and it looks like in fourth at the moment we've got Andrew Gaines, and then we've got Scott Stevens. That's a really good result for Scott tonight. In fifth at the moment, Chris.
Yeah, that's right, and Scott showed signs of some promise in the I think was it last week or the week before, and he's only had the one race, so he's still finding his feet in this series, and hopefully he doesn't get tangled. Hope no one gets tangled. I want to see a really good race here.
Yeah, definitely, and it looks like Darren Voucher's doing well again tonight. He's qualified in 6th position. 7th is Martin Kramer. 8th, Trent Thomas. 9th, Brendan Howe, and rounding out our top 10 at the moment is Paul Nelson. So it looks like Trent in 8th at the moment. He's got a lot of work cut out for him tonight, I think.
Yes, and just so everyone does know, Trent is he's experiencing a few new sim gear with his pedals, and he bought a new video card the other day as well. So he's trying to tune his system to be optimal. So he's not finding the pace at the moment, and it's early days. It's 8th place is not out of the championship by any means in terms of qualifying. All he needs to do is just sit there, keep his nose clean, and just run to the end of the race.
Yeah, definitely. And if he's got new pedals and gear, it does take a round or two really to get familiar with them, because I know when I changed all my pedal set here, it took a couple of weeks really of practicing before I was comfortable with them again.
Yeah, I can't comment at all. I've had the same sim gear for about 3 or 4 years now, so I'm still running the good old Logitech G27 gear, and it hasn't let me down. I'm not interested in changing it.
Yeah, well, some of the really fast NASCAR guys, I think they're using some of the wheels before the Logitech G25 even. So, I used to have the Logitech, and it's a fantastic setup.
Yeah, it actually just proves that being behind a computer screen with budget gear, you can be the fastest driver out there. Don't think that spending more money will make you faster. It's all about driver skill and how you actually present yourself on the track. The amount of the gear that you have, sure, it can help, and it might bring a little bit better experience to yourself, but it doesn't necessarily make you faster.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I remember when I first started in this sport, I thought the fancier the gear, the faster I'd get, but it doesn't work out that way really, which is good, because it means people can come in on a budget and they can compete with the top guys if they've got that skill level up there. So I think it's great.
It's fantastic. I really enjoy sim racing. I did a little bit of real time racing back in the day, and this is great because it doesn't cost you any money as such. Not as much money, and it's good. You can just do it in your own time, and it's great. And the best thing about iRacing and the series is you get really good competitiveness between the drivers. It's fantastic. I love to see it week after week.
Yeah, definitely. I used to do some real world racing in my day as well, but sim racing is where I'm at now, and I've never really regretted taking up this esport. It's the closest thing a lot of people are going to get to real world racing, especially with the way iRacing prepares their tracks with the laser scanning and how they prepare all these cars. It's just fantastic. We've got this at our fingertips, really.
Oh, exactly right. It's great. I love it.
Okay, folks, so we have come to the end of our qualifying run. So we're just going to wait for the guys to grid up, and I'll take you through the grid. Okay, so the way the grid's looking tonight, Josh Burden is on pole, followed by Dylan Shepherd in second. Dean O'Brien's third. Andrew Gaines is fourth. Scott Stevens will be starting out of fifth. Sixth, we've got Darren Vouch. Where am I? Sorry, folks. Seventh, Martin Kramer. Eighth, Trent Thomas. B. Newman in ninth. B. Howe in 10th. I'm just bringing up my screens again. They're okay. Paul Nelson is starting from 11th. Peter Jolly in 12th. A. Harden 13th. Chris Johnston 14th. Rick Burt in 15th. A. O'Brien 16th. 17th A. Whelan. Darren Lesu 18th. 19th is Jay Maloney. And 20th is not Chris. He's up here talking to me.
Yeah, sorry about that, Bernie. I accidentally joined as a driver again, so apologies if I have taken someone's spot on the grid.
With a field of 19, I think there's a few spots left for the guys on the grid.
Well, actually, there is 19 starters, but can I just say, positions 1 to 14, there's a gap of about 1.2 seconds in terms of qualifying time. This is great. This is the cars are so equal. The drivers, they're going to be fighting it, bumper to bumper. As we count down, I suppose the lights are coming on soon, Bernie.
Yeah, not far away now. We're just waiting for the final minutes. Now the lights are coming on, so the revs will be building now. Red lights on, the revs up, waiting for the green. Got the green flag, and they're off, folks. So as you can see, some of the guys are even starting down around the corner. So it looks like we've got Josh Burton looking for the lead, but we've got Dylan Shepherd on the outside, and they go side by side into the first corner. And it looks like Dylan Shepherd's come out in front of that little battle, Chris.
Yeah, Dylan had a great start, and he actually managed to get the car side on the side to Joshua there. So he's made that opportunity, and oh geez, it's so slippery coming over those bumps there, Bernie.
Definitely is, and then we just had a car in the background go get caught on the ripple strip, but they do continue as Josh Burden now takes the lead back with Dylan Shepherd right on his back door, followed by Dean O'Brien at the moment, Dylan's teammate.
Yeah, Dean's looking really racy here. He's probably just going to sit behind these two and let these guys battle it out. He'll be licking his lips here.
Definitely will be, and as we've got cars going through the dirt in the back, but they all continue.
Oh, we've got contact on the front row here, Dylan. Oh no.
Yeah, it's got Dean involved in that as well, so we'll get a replay of that, folks.
Yeah, I think all three got tangled up there. I believe Josh and who was it? Sorry, Dylan had a bit of a moment, and Dean was the unfortunate one. He's back in 11th place now.
That's right, and it looks like Josh Burden has steering damage as well, Chris. As we watch them come through now, let's slow this into super slow-mo. We can see Dylan now has tagged Josh. Josh has definitely got steering damage, and Dean O'Brien was turned around by, it looks like that was a monster... Andrew Gaines, I think, turned him around.
Yeah, Andrew Gaines is just giving a little punt up the backside there.
So that's disaster for some of these drivers, especially poor Josh. He was the innocent on that one, and it looks like he does have steering damage, Chris.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate. Well, hopefully he can limp it back to the pits and get that quick repair done. Be interesting to see what the stewards do with Andrew Gaines there, and might give him a penalty for that one.
Yeah, as we're watching Josh now coming onto the straight again, I tell you what, that car has some serious damage. He can't even... he's still continuing with that. I can't believe it.
We've also had another car, another monster car, Trent Thomas. He's had a bit of an accident on that first lap too, and he's limped it back to the pits and got a quick repair, but his race is almost over as well.
Yeah, so Sonoma's definitely bit, as we're having a look now at Trent on that. Oh yeah, he just hit the ripple strip sideways heavily into the fence there. So Sonoma's definitely claiming quite a few scalps in that first lap.
Oh, definitely, but look who's come out in second position here, Scott Stevens.
Yeah, so that's fantastic. So at the moment, folks, our top 10 are Dylan Shepherd out in front, followed by Scott Stevens, Andrew Gaines in third. Fourth is Darren Vouch. Fifth is Brendan Howe. Sixth is Rick Burt. Seventh, Adam Harden. Eighth, Scott Stevens. Scott Stevens right down there. Something's happened to Scott.
He's just taken his pit stop.
Okay, so he's jumping in really early. That's an interesting tactic, isn't it? To get it out of the way. Can he do that yet? I'm just looking, 29 to go. The window must have just opened. He might be a bit early there.
Yeah, I need to check the rules. I feel a little bit of a noob here. I thought you had to complete... Oh no, well they have completed 2 laps, so they're on that 4. That's right. No, it's the earliest they can pit, so that's great.
Okay, so he's just got it in, yeah. It's the start of lap 3. End of lap 2, start of lap 3 they can pit. So we had 32 laps on their 29th. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think he's just got in the pit window, the earliest opportunity. So having a look at the times, Dylan Shepherd's just set a fastest time of 1:07.918 compared to Andrew Gaines, who were in the 1:08. So Dylan's really flying out there tonight, Chris.
Yeah, he's got clean air, and he's probably just going to have to walk away here. No one's got his draft behind him. He's got a good enough gap there, so he'd probably be in the front running to take the race win at this early stage, if he can keep it on the black stuff.
Yeah, well, I think as we're having a look now, trying to see who that is. Oh, Trent Thomas back in 20th at the moment. We're riding with him as he's trying to get past his teammate at the moment, Chris.
Yes, this is going for... Oh, what position is this? Is he a lap down now? I can't see that. Yes,
yeah,
he is.
Just 1 lap down now.
It's always pretty difficult to, you know you're a lap down, and he's coming into the pits again. So maybe did he? Oh, he had to pit in the first lap. So remember, you can't do your compulsory stop in the first 2 laps. So he's had to come in again and do his compulsory fuel stop.
Yeah, that's going to be that's going to hurt him a lot. So I'd say this could potentially put him down another lap here, because they're lapping in the 1:07s at the moment.
Yeah, there's plenty of time for him to make that up though. There's a lot of fast guys that are hurting at the moment. I mean, who we got down the back here? We've got Martin Creamers, Dean O'Brien, Paul Nelson, Josh Burden, Brad Newman, Trent Thomas. These guys are all top runners, so and they're all at the back of the pack.
That's right. This is really going to, if they finish like this tonight, it's really going to shake up the championship, I think.
Oh, definitely. And look who's in 6th place at the moment here, Rick Burt. He's charging through. He started in 15th position, and he's currently holding 6th. That's great. That's a fantastic result.
It certainly is. And up in 3rd now, we've got Darren Vouch, and we saw Darren last week as he really showed how much pace he's got in this car. So we'll keep an eye on him tonight as well, and see.
Yes, yes, that's right. He's a newcomer to the series, so he's definitely showing his talents here, and he's putting a lot of pressure on Andrew Gaines for what was now second position.
That's right. So this race is really coming to Darren at the moment, and so I think the real big winners out of this has been this incident earlier on was Andrew and Darren, but it'll be interesting to see if the stewards have a look at the move of Dylan on the inside of Josh, as well as Andrew Gaines into the back of Dylan's teammate.
Yeah, that was Dean O'Brien that he had a bit of a spin there, so we'll see what the stewards say about that. It might be an after-race penalty, it might be a penalty that's applied throughout the race, so that's if there's a penalty at all, I should say.
That's right, it could also be deemed as a driving incident, especially considering that's one of the only real opportunities to overtake in a lap, and it's tight as it is through there. So I think, they just went in a bit hot in the first corner, excited, and tapped wheels.
Well, not forgetting that the tyres are cold too, so you saw a couple of cars skating around on that first lap, and it's a really tough braking zone as well, so what you need to do is lock it up or get on the gas a little bit too quick, and you've looped it. So and we did see that with the two guys at the front, with Josh and Dylan. So they had a moment, and Dean was in just right behind him. He might have braked just that suddenly, just that little bit more, and Andrew's not taking that on board. Just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, it definitely looked like they all checked up, and they were all very tightly packed into that corner, and it's just caught Andrew out, and he's just tagged the back of Dean. That's all it looked like to me.
Yeah, right, okay, fair enough. It just looks like you've got this little pack here with Andrew Gaines, Darren Vouch, Brendan Howe, and Chris Johnson's actually closing up on these guys too. So these guys are all vying for that is now what is now second position. We've got to remember Scott Stevens has done his pit stop, and he's probably in a bit of clean air at the moment, so he'll be just pulling away and probably really pushing for the well, actually, if we have a look back at Scott Stevens, we've got Scott and Dean O'Brien all battling for position, which is now 12th position, so these guys are hammering it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh boy, we're in the car with Dean then as he goes on the inside of Scott. I tell you what, that looked very hairy for a moment going through that corner.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, like, because that ripple strip's right there and these cars are quite low, I did notice that sometimes you can actually position your car on that ripple strip and kind of skid straight on, and you got a concrete wall facing you, so you just got to be really careful.
Yeah, that's right, and for the folks at home that have seen the NASCAR, this is one of their road circuits that they drive around. I think they actually use this same configuration, don't they, Chris?
I think they use the Cup version, so correct me if I'm wrong, I think so. I don't know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do use the Cup version, and you often, when you're watching them, the coverage, you'll see them always taking that turn 4 and jumping over and just missing the wall like these guys are. But I think if I was going to take that sort of a risk, I'd rather be in a NASCAR than an open wheeler.
Oh, definitely, and I believe the V8 supercars are at the same track this week, and it's a very hairy bump. If you just position that car in the wrong way, it'll flip you around. So you got to take it with a bit of caution, not a lot of caution, but just enough to, you don't want to unsettle that car. And remember I said at the beginning there, the driver behind that gets a good run out of that corner has the opportunity to overtake on the next on the coming right hand turn down there. So you really want to take a little bit of caution and don't unsettle your car.
Yeah, definitely, and that's exactly what happened to Scott Stevens there. His car did get unsettled, and then before he knew it, Dean O'Brien took the inside of that hairpin, and it looks like Scott has now gone down another position to Martin Kramer.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened there. Is he running with a bit of damage, or has he just got his car in the wrong place?
We're having a look at him now. He definitely is off the pace, because we just had Paul Nelson pass him, so we'll jump in the cockpit and see if he's struggling with this vehicle.
Yeah, he's actually coming onto the main straight on that last lap. He's actually clipped the wall, so he might have a little bit of steering damage there. That's unfortunate. He's already had his pit stop too, so that's going to really compromise his race.
Yeah, we're having a look at the wheel now. He's left hand down on the steering, so he's definitely bent that steering slightly.
Yeah, it's actually hurting him. It cost him 3 seconds, almost 4 seconds that previous lap. So he's running right again. What's he gonna do there? What do we got? We're on lap 12, 20 laps. If you're gonna lose 3 seconds a lap, you're probably better just to come into the pits and clear it and clear that damage if you can.
Yeah, you can see it down that straight. He's definitely left hand down and he's struggling, but 2 seconds a lap. He's going to lose over a minute if he doesn't pit. If he does pit, he'll probably, I don't know, lose 40, 50 seconds, but he'll have a healthier car to race with.
Yeah, and we recall, I think it was back, what track was it? Brands Hatch. The stewards actually got involved, and I think it was with Martin Kramer's car, and basically gave him a black flag because it wasn't really controllable. But I don't think Scott's got as much of a problem here. He can still, get the car around the track with ease. Probably just not in the fastest way possible.
Definitely, we're just having a look at a replay, folks. Dean O'Brien heavy into the fence. Chris. As he was overtaking a car. We'll get a different view of that, folks.
Yeah, it's come around that last bend there. You can't get too wide going through some of these corners. So it's unfortunate. He's having a bad run in this championship. I don't think he's had an incident-free race so far.
Yeah, he's oh boy, he's gone in so deep. That rear end actually dug right into the road there, and yeah, that's a serious accident. So I'd say he will be definitely towing that back to the pits and using that fast repair. He's broken his rear suspension. Okay, folks, so we'll take you through our top 10 as we're going. So we've got Dylan Shepherd now. He's got an 8.2 second lead over Darren Vouch, who's pretty much lapping pretty consistently, just 0.02 of a second behind Dylan and 8.2 seconds down. Brendan Howe is now third. Chris Johnston fourth. Andrew Gaines has dropped down to fifth. Rick Burton sixth. Seventh, Peter Jolly. Eighth is Craig Jones. It's great to see Craig out there having a run tonight. Ninth is Nathan Leggy, and rounding out our top 10 is Andy O'Brien. So this field has pretty much the back guys are up the front and the front guys are down the back, Chris.
Yeah, and that's what happens when we have accidents, in the middle pack or even at the front, like as we saw on that first lap there between the top three guys, or top four guys, sorry. So I don't think any of these top 10 guys have actually done their pit stops yet. So there's still pit stops to come into play here. Might just bring a lot of this pack back together, and I still would be putting my money on Dylan Shepherd to take this out, but it's anyone's race.
That's right, and we're having a look now at Paul Nelson battling away with Martin Kramer. Tell you what, they were going too wide into the third corner on that blind corner, Chris.
Yeah, always always gets your blood pumping. I think getting too wide around there, so I hope they keep it clean. But Martin Creamers both Martin Creamers and Paul Nelson have had a bad experiences at Bathurst in that last round. So I hope they can keep it clean and bring it home to the finish.
Yeah, definitely. Bathurst was another brutal race, just like this race tonight is turning out for a lot of the front runners in the points table. So it's definitely been quite a couple of eventful weeks for this category.
Oh, definitely, and with the driver standings in the current driver standings, you got a couple of consistent guys. Two names that really stand out for me is Brendan Howe and Chris Johnston. They might not be the fastest guys on the track, but they're keeping it clean, and look, they're still in the front of this pack. So, and they're only helping their own chances of taking out this championship. It's really good to see consistency in a championship like this, especially when you've got tracks that are horrendous with these cars in terms of incidents and classic example tonight. We've seen most of these top runners all have an accident, so it's anyone's game, and it's going to be great to see how the rest of this championship comes out.
That's right, and it looks like we've just had Martin Kramer dive into the pits as well, so it looks like he's taken his compulsory pit stop now. We've also had Dylan Shepherd. He did his pit stop. He did a 10.8 second. Paul Nelson has done his pit stop now, 13 seconds. Andrew Gaines has done his pit stop. Nathan Leggy's in at the moment pitting. That's who we saw dive in, folks. So it looks like Chris there pitting anywhere from 9 seconds up to 13, but it looks like Nathan's he's having a real slow stop. He might have got a penalty there, Chris. He did a 21 second stop for Nathan Leggy.
That sounds like he might have had a pit stop penalty there, like a stop and go for maybe speeding in the pits. It just doesn't doesn't add up in terms of the seconds there. 23 seconds was it? So I think it's a 12-second stop-go penalty with these cars. So that might mean that his pit stop would have been around the 10 or 11-second mark.
Yeah, that would add up to penalty if most of the guys are stopping in the 8 to 9 seconds. So it looks like he may have copped something there. But we'll have to wait and find out after the race if we get to have a chat with him.
Yeah, that's right. And I did put a post up in the series forum in the thread there. If any of the drivers do want to have an interview after the race, or even during the race, we'd love to have a chat to you. So jump into the TeamSpeak. All the details are on the page there, and give us your insight. Give us an example of what your race was like. It'd be good to talk to you.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a great opportunity for them to promote their sponsors as well. As looks like Craig Jones has dived into the pits in the unmetered servers. Maybe that wasn't Craig. I'm just trying to think who that was.
Yeah, Craig has just come into the pits there, so he's getting his stop out the way.
Yeah, definitely in the Monster. So he's part of Thomas Gaines Motorsport, I think, isn't he?
Yes, that's right. Gaines Thomas Racing, and Peter Jolly is also in the pits as well. So they're getting their pit stops out the way, and who's left on the track here to do pit stops? Probably we've got Darren Brendan, Chris Johnston, Rick Burt. So they're the top 4 guys at the moment, holding down positions 1 to 4. And they need to get their pit stops done.
Yeah, Darren's now in the pits as he relinquishes the lead now back to Brendan Howe. So the guys who haven't pitted is Brendan Howe, Chris Johnston, Darren Vouch is now taking his pit stop, Rick Burt and Andy O'Brien and Josh Anderson in 18th still haven't taken their stop yet.
Yeah, and Dylan Shepherd has actually just got around Rick Burt to take that fourth position back. So Rick's still got to do his pit stop, so that might put him about 25 seconds or so behind the leader there.
Yeah, that's right. The person we have to watch now is Dylan Shepherd. He's 20 seconds off the lead now, and he's lapping about just a bit faster than the other guys. But by the time they come into the pits and take their stop, he's going to have the lead again. But he's followed closely by Rick Burt and Darren Vouch, who has taken his stop, is in fifth at the moment.
We see Dylan cross the line to complete what would be lap 20, I think it is. So that's he's getting on with the job. There's still 12 laps to go in this race, and we've got Darren just coming over the line now. So there's a gap there between these drivers of probably about 10-11 seconds between what would be first and second position, I believe.
That's right. Once the guys take their stops, we're going to have Dylan Shepherd as the leader, and he is 11 seconds in front of Darren Vouch, who will take second once the guys stop. But right behind him is Paul Nelson now. So Paul looks like he will be fighting for a podium position with Martin Kramer once these guys go through their stops.
Yeah, we can't also forget about Brendan Howe and Chris Johnson. I don't think they've done their stops yet either. So once they do their stops, they're going to come out somewhere in this pack as well. So we're going to see a really good battle here. Probably about 4 or 5 cars all in a row. But I think Dylan Shepherd's just walking away with this, isn't he?
Definitely, and the way he passed Rick Burt, he really showed how dominant he is tonight in that move. But you're right, when the other guys up the front do pit, we're going to have quite a big battle pack back here fighting for probably the last position on the podium.
Yeah, that's right. We've actually had 16th place Nathan Legg. He's had a spin on what will be just after turn 2 there, and he's got it on the dirty stuff. He's got it going again. He's didn't hit any walls and didn't have any contact with anything, so that's good. It's good to see he's back in the race and carrying on like he should be.
I tell you what, the car behind Nathan did a fantastic job of avoiding that incident, and it looks to me like as Nathan rejoined the track, another car nearly collected him as well.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, you got these blind corners, so all you see, or all these drivers see, is a little yellow flag going wave, 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 and you're sort of like, oh, what's going on? Where do I go? So it was a good job by all drivers to avoid any kind of incident there.
Yeah, definitely. That's, as you said, a blind corner, and even when you're coming back on the track there, you don't know where the cars really are unless you're using your F3 box, as we see Nathan go off again. So Nathan's really struggling with this car tonight, Chris.
Yeah, well, all the drivers are on the same setup, but not all drivers have the same, without saying this in a bad way, not all drivers have the same talent as well. So it's great to see all the drivers out there, and even if you do have a spin, just to continue on with your race. It's the only way you're going to learn. We know that Nathan's not the fastest guy out there, but there's nothing wrong with having a go. So if you do have a thought of even joining the series, please do. There's plenty of space, and not to mention it's broadcasted live here on RRTV. So get in there and have a go.
Yeah, definitely. Since I started broadcasting and talking to the guys in this series, I'm really impressed not only with the drivers and the mateship that they have in this class, but also the organisation. It's a fantastic series. It's well managed, and as you said, Chris, lots of space. So if there's any guys out there that love their open wheeler racing, definitely jump on this, because it's a great car and great racing, as you can see.
Well, that's right. We have actually had 33, I believe, 33 unique drivers come into this series throughout up until this race here. So it shows that there is a lot of participation. You don't normally see the Star Mazdas in an Australian sort of championship as such. So it's definitely opened the doors, and a lot of drivers are taking opportunity to get in there and have a go.
Yeah, I guess the equivalent of a Star Mazda in Australia would probably be the F3, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably F3. I suppose the Skippies are more like a Formula Ford, aren't they?
Yeah, the Skippies are more like the Formula Fords, and I think the Star Mazda would probably be the F3 type level in Australia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's a good little car. It's a lot of these cars are just as fast as, or if not faster, getting around these tracks as a V8 supercar. So they might not have a lot of power, but they don't have a lot of weight either. So, and they got a lot of grip and a lot of aero. So they do get around the track pretty well. If you're scared of being in an open wheeler, it's probably the best car to be in. It's got a lot of grip. You don't have to worry too much about going too fast. The Indy cars probably step up from this, and then probably into the F1. So, without going too overboard, it's a great little mid-range car.
Definitely. And for the folks out there that haven't driven it, if you've driven a go-kart and you like the way go-karts handle, these cars are probably the closest thing in iRacing to a go-kart, except they're a lot faster, of course.
Yeah, a lot faster, definitely.
Yeah, and while we're talking about F3, I'd like to give a shout out to one of my teammates for Redback Racing, Luke Spalding. A very talented young driver, had his first test drive in a real F3, and he's got backing to compete this year in the Australian F3 Championship. So on behalf of myself and your mates at Redback Racing, Luke, good luck with that, and let us know how you go.
Gee, that's fantastic to hear. Does he normally get on iRacing a lot, or I haven't heard the name, sorry?
Yeah, he does get on iRacing when he can. He was racing Formula V last year, and he's got a deal to run an F3 this year, so of course he's very busy. But he's what was he running? GT. He was running GTs and a little bit of V8s, but definitely got a lot of talent. And how old would he be? Probably 17, 18. So he's quite young, and he's quite talented. So it's great to see the young blokes out there making opportunities for themselves and giving it a go.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to hear when a young bloke gets an opportunity to take it and give it all he's got, and you never know, he might be the next Australian star in a. I was going to say F1, but you never know. I don't know where where all the different series sort of progress to. I'm assuming that you do all these races here in Australia, and then you probably go and do a European Championship somewhere, GP2, GP3, something like that, and you work your way up to Indy or into F1. So it's great to see young guys getting into it.
Yeah, definitely. And he put a video up the other night, and he was passing what was it? They were GT Porsches, I think, from the Carrera Cup, and he was passing those like they were standing still. So the F3 must have quite a lot of power behind it.
Yeah, not to mention the actual mental concentration that you need to not just handle the car, but to actually go around a track pretty fast. It's it's probably a reason why the young guys can do it and the old guys can't.
I'd say so. Anyway, we better get back to this race. So we've got Dylan Shepherd now has taken the lead again as the field cleansed itself through that pit stop. So Dylan Shepherd, 10-second lead now over Darren Vouch. Paul Nelson is right behind. We'll focus on that. Right behind him, battling for second at the moment. Andrew Gaines is a second down in fourth. Fifth is Martin Kramer. Chris Johnston is sixth. Brendan Howe is seventh. Josh Burden is now eighth after the incident on the first lap. Andrew Harden is Adam Harden, is ninth, and Peter Jolly rounds out our top 10.
Yeah, this is actually a great race from Paul Nelson. We got to remember he did have that early pit stop, so he got that out the way, and probably had a bit of clean air. Didn't get involved in any accidents, and he's sitting pretty here in third place. So he's got his teammate in front of him, Darren Vouch, to get around. And do you reckon there'll be a bit of team orders here, or do you reckon Darren might just run away with this?
Just having a look at the times at the moment, they're very close on times. Darren's very slightly faster, but quite honestly, I don't know if there'll be team orders here. I just hope they, if they're going to fight, they fight and don't take each other out.
Well, that's right, and you've got Andrew Gaines there, literally on the back of Paul's gearbox there, so he's waiting to take any kind of opportunity with the front two guys if they do take themselves out. So we hope they don't, and they come across the line to complete what would be lap 29. So we've got 3 laps to go.
That's right, and if we find that Paul is quicker than Darren and he's being pressured by Andrew, it puts Paul in a difficult position, because you don't want to lose your position, but you also have to be careful of your teammate. So it'll be interesting to see how this shapes out.
Oh, that's right. You don't want to be looking in your mirrors trying to defend while you're running up the back of your teammates. So he's definitely the meat in this sandwich, and we'll have to see how he's going to run the rest of this race. You've got to remember, these two guys at the back, they're getting a little bit of draft off Darren, so probably helping them out a little bit. And actually, looks like Paul's actually falling back a little bit off Darren's off the back of Darren's car, so he might be feeling the heat from Andrew here. Like coming down to the last turn. Oh, Andrew's just showing his car. He's making sure that Paul knows that he's there, and we've got 2 laps to go. Oh, geez, they're close.
Definitely, and you could tell that last line, the way Paul was positioning his car, he was definitely going on the defence, but now he's going back on the attack on his teammate Darren Vouch as they now come up into turn 3, I think it is. Looks like Andrew's dropped off a little bit too as he runs wide coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, he just got the sorry, what am I trying to say? He got the tyres on the dirt as he ran wide, and he's probably dropped maybe about 3/10 off these guys now.
Yeah, that's right. But I tell you what, if these guys come home second and third, this will be an excellent result for their team, and there'll be celebrations in the pits tonight.
Oh, it'll be a fantastic result for the team. The team's already in second position in terms of the team standing, so this is only going to cement their position even further. In fact, might even take the first position of One Performance Racing for the team championship. You never know. Have to see how the points play out. We've come into what would be the last lap now, and looks like Dylan's just going to walk away with this, isn't he?
Definitely, and we better focus on our leader. He's so far in front, I forgot who was leading, but Dylan's got this quite comfortably in the number 4, 43 One Performance Racing, and as you saw earlier tonight, he did our hot lap, so you've ridden with him in that car, and he's going to take that win.
Excellent drive. Kept his nose pretty clean. Remember we said it's probably easier to lead from the front. You probably don't get mangled up in any accidents, and it's a great race from Dylan, and he's only going to cement his driver standing even further in this championship.
Definitely, as Dylan Shepherd takes the lead, we'll jump back to this battle between Darren Vouch, Paul Nelson and Andrew Grimes as Darren comes across the line in second position, followed by Paul Nelson. Fantastic drive by those two. Andrew Gaines finishes in fourth position. Fifth, we have Martin Kramer, followed by Chris Johnson in sixth. A fantastic drive by Chris tonight. Brendan Howe finished seventh. Josh Burden comes home in eighth, so that was a great recovery from Josh tonight. Adam Harden comes into the final corner to take ninth position, followed closely by Rick Burt and Peter Jolly in the unmetered servers. Star Mazda. Scott Stevens comes home in 12th position. I don't think he did fix that steering, Chris.
To be honest, I'm not sure. It's a bit unfortunate. No, I don't believe he had. No, he didn't. He kept on the track, and look, 12th is not a bad result. What are you going to do?
That's right, and with that amount of damage, he kept on the lead lap too. So that was a good result. Probably the best he could hope for with steering that badly bent. Trent Thomas finished in 14th position and 1 lap down. Darren Lesu is 15th. Craig Jones finished in 16th. So he struggled a bit there tonight, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not. I think Craig actually had 2 pit stops, if I recall correctly. So he might have got a bit of damage somewhere throughout that race, and probably compromised his position a bit.
Yeah, I'd say so. 17th was Joshua Anderson, 18th Brad Newman, Nathan Legg came in 19th. 20th, was Alistair Whelan, Dylan O'Brien 22nd, and hey, look, Chris, you came 23rd, mate.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank all my sponsors. It was a fantastic race. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you sounded calm for your driving. The retirements we've had tonight, folks, is unfortunately Alistair Whelan retired from this event, and so did Dean O'Brien, and we saw Dean go heavily into the fence in that incident. So only 2 retirements out of a field of, how many guys do we have? About 21 starters, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not a bad result, and it's a good participation again tonight. We've got 21 starters. You can have a really good race with that many people on the track, and made for an exciting race, didn't it, Bernie?
It certainly did, and it looks like we have our race winner, Dylan Shepherd. So we'll bring Dylan up and have a chat with him. Hi Dylan, welcome to RRTV's commentary box. The viewers rode with you on the hot lap tonight, and it looks like you were hot lapping all night. Fantastic result. It looked like you were dominating that race, mate.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I had a bit of a rough start, but yeah, after that it was just clear sailing for the rest of the race.
Yeah, we had a look at the incident into the hairpin. Can you talk us through exactly what happened there?
From my point of view, it seemed as we were coming down, he was on the outside, and obviously I had the draft on him, so I decided to pop out to the inside. I think I gave him enough time to yield a position, but obviously we were racing hard, so we headed into the first corner, and last corner, sorry, and I think he moved off his racing line a little bit to go a bit defensive, and I saw his car turn in a bit, so I went further to the inside, and I've gone around near the tyre barriers and on the inside of the ripple strip, and yeah, he didn't yield the position. I didn't slow up enough. So contact was made. I've kind of blamed it on both of us, to be honest, like a little bit of me, a little bit of him, so it's really up to the judging panel to decide what happens.
Yeah, that's right, and the biggest victim of that, apart from Josh heavily bent his steering in that incident. the biggest victim was your teammate who got tagged behind you and was turned around as well as the field banked up. So bad luck there, but a fantastic drive on your behalf all the same. So how did you find Sonoma tonight?
Yeah, Sonoma's actually probably one of my favourite tracks in the whole of the iRacing calendar. So yeah, it was great to race here tonight, and I've been doing laps throughout the week, and yeah, I'm glad that I could pick up a win on one of my favourite tracks. Yeah, 3 in a row is awesome as well. So yeah, hopefully you can keep the momentum up through the series.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you've definitely got that momentum going your way at the moment. Your lead was 11.2 seconds over Darren Vouch in the end, and you had a 10-second lead very early on in that race. So congratulations on that. Chris, have you got anything you'd like to ask Dylan?
Yeah, g'day Dylan, it's Chris here. 3 wins in a row, mate. You're walking away with it. Who do you think's going to be the driver to really challenge you this season? Do you feel like it might be your teammate Dean or Josh Burden even, or do you think it might be someone running in that sort of mid pack there in the championship that might actually push you a little bit?
Yeah, throughout the series, all the drivers have got pace no matter what. Like in the qualifying tonight, there was only 1 second separating first and 14th, so everyone really has pace. It just depends on everyone's racecraft and how lucky they can get through the race. Honestly, Dean's probably the hardest one that's going to beat because he's just always got the outright pace. For example, tonight, everyone in qualifying was trying to get a draft for their lap, where Dean refuses to get a draft, and he actually pretty much was up in third, only a tenth off Josh and I, without a slipstream, just because he can push that hard. And even just during the week, he was doing like 207, I think it was 207.6s, or 107.6s, just in open air without slipstream, and I could get nowhere near that. So yeah, I think Dean's probably the hardest one to beat, but obviously he just keeps getting bad luck in each race.
When do you think his luck will turn around though? Because it looks like he does have the pace. So what's going to happen if you guys are fighting? Is he going to let you through, or are you going to let him through? What's going to be the plan?
Honestly, I think me and him will just race it out hard, and it probably won't end up well either. It's just always been like that between the two of us. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I can be behind him when it gets to the closing parts of the race, because at Bathurst, he was going to drive away for sure. He already had a few seconds on me in the first few laps until the glitch happened and his car got sent into the wall. But so yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot for coming up to have a chat with us, Dylan, and thanks definitely for taking our viewers on that hot lap tonight. I really appreciated that. And before we let you go, would you like to give a quick shout out to anyone?
Yeah, just a big shout out to all the boys at One Performance Racing again. Actually going away to the Bathurst 12 Hour this weekend, Brad and Dean and I. So yeah, hope it'll be a great weekend to spend away. So yeah, thanks for all the support from Custom Image as well, helping us out with the paints and stuff. I think hopefully they're working on a Riley for us for the 12 Hour next weekend. So yeah, just all the boys, thanks for that.
Yeah, fantastic. I was going to the Bathurst 12 Hour, but I just found out I have a house inspection on the Monday, so I'm going to be spending the day watching the 12 Hour on Prime, which is a great coverage. They're covering all 12 hours of it, and I'll be doing that while I clean this place up, I guess. But anyway, Dylan, well done. Enjoy the Bathurst 12 Hour, and we'll see you next week. And if you find any cheap souvenirs, buy us something, mate.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Have a good one.
All right. See you, Dylan.
See you.
Okay, the next guy we'll bring up is, I think we will have a quick chat with Josh Burden and get his a view on that incident, Chris.
Yeah, definitely.
Hi Josh, welcome to RRTV's commentary box, and firstly I'd like to say how sorry we were to see that incident you're involved in on the first lap. Can you tell us what exactly happened from your point of view?
Yeah, well, I seen Dylan dive up inside, so I sort of opened up the door a bit. And, we made contact. Thought maybe a bit ambitious for the first lap, but whatever happened, and yeah.
Yeah, there was that incident. Sort of Constantine down the field a bit, and Dylan's teammate was spun out as he got tagged by Andrew as well. So it was very unfortunate to see that occur. However, I must say your recovery, getting that car back up to 8th, was a fantastic drive.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep out there until the pit window opened, and losing about 10 seconds lap doing it, but probably would have been better off doing that rather than having to pit twice. So yeah, pretty happy with coming back to 8th.
Yeah, definitely, because after that incident and when we saw how badly damaged your steering was, we thought it was probably game over at that point for you, but you proved us wrong with a great recovery drive, bringing it back up to 8th position. So well done. Chris, is there anything you'd like to speak to Josh about?
Yeah, g'day, Josh. I believe you reckon that one might be a drop round for you. 8th place is nothing to be sorry about, but knowing that you are, basically were second in the championship before this race, you reckon that one's going to play into your favour as a drop round, or what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, I think it might be actually. There was one round that I missed completely, so that will obviously be a drop round, and this one so far is my worst result apart from the round I missed. So yeah, at this stage it's a drop round, but we'll see what happens for the rest of the championship.
And Josh, next week we're actually going to Zolder. You had to go around this track before in the Star Mazda, and if you have, what do you think of it?
Haven't in the last couple of seasons, but when I first joined iRacing, I gave it a bit of a go, and it's not a bad track. It'll be fun in the Star Mazda. I think they're running the alternate layout, so instead of going into the chicane, you just hang a left at the end of that little straight there, and yeah, can't come on fast on the straight, so it should be good.
You reckon you'll push for your second win of the season?
Oh, that'd be good. You see how we go.
Yeah, fantastic. Josh, before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, once again, Sim Racing Magazine, and Scotty for the help in qualifying. He helped me put it on pole, so that was good.
Fantastic. And are you heading off to the Bathurst 12 Hour this weekend as well?
No, mate, not this weekend. I will be watching it on TV. And, also, the V8 test day should be interesting to see how that goes. Yeah,
definitely. It's a pity they clash, but hopefully they can sort that out next year. But anyway, Josh, not welcome. Thanks for coming up. I'm tired, mate. Thanks for coming up, and we'll see you next week at Zolder.
Yes, cheers, guys.
So the next guy we will bring up is Scott Stevens from JFF Racing, and have a chat with him, Chris.
Yep, and Scott is Josh's teammate, so be interesting to see how this goes.
Definitely. Did you want to have a chat with Scott, or should I?
No, you're right. Scott, welcome to the commentary channel. What did you think of your race there? You had a bit of an unfortunate. It looked like you actually had a really good start. All the other drivers dropping like flies around you. You were sort of holding down, I think it was second position there, and you clipped the wall coming out of coming onto the main straight. It looked like it bent your steering and probably compromised the rest of your race. How did you see it on from your point of view?
Go guys, and thanks for having me up here. Race didn't go as planned, as you've kind of mentioned there, but that's okay. Look, I'm only kind of learning this car and just enjoying the racing of something that's a little bit different. I'm not really an open wheeling guy, but yeah, my plan was to pit on the end of lap 3, which I did, came in. and I managed to get unscathed through. I think it was the first lap shenanigans down into the hairpin. So that was a bit of bad luck for a few of the guys, but I got through there, and I was just trying to keep gaps between the cars on the first couple of opening laps, so that I didn't get caught up with anything. So then pitted. Strategy-wise, I think it was the right move, and I'd worked out fuel numbers pretty damn well because I ended up crossing the line with only 0.3 of a litre left. So pit time is crucial to get back out on the track, and after I think 2 or 3 laps, I think it might have been either lap 5 or 6 after my pit stop, and I came across a slower car and down through the right-hand sweeper for, I don't know, I'm not sure what reason, but either got on the brakes or really lifted quite significantly, and I had nowhere to go and ran into the back of him, and that basically bent my front wing, and then from there, I think it was 2 laps after that, it went into the wall and pushed the front left up into the tub of the car. So it did compromise the rest of my race. I was just doing laps to try and minimise, I guess, the damage and finish and letting guys through because I just couldn't battle with them. So I was just telling them where I wanted them to pass and whatnot. So yeah, unfortunate, but it was, I guess, a lesson learnt.
Yeah, definitely. And your teammate Josh Burden had a similar experience with his steering, and it was quite interesting to see both of you made the call to stay out. Was that something you both decided independently, or were you communicating over the radio to work out what the best thing to do for tonight?
I think the pit lane is where your pit stalls are in the pit lane and where your entry point is to pit lane. It becomes a rather long process of trundling down the pit lane on your limiter. So your entry in is rather fast, but the time spent in pit lane, and for me to do that, for myself, just to get a fast repair done, it wasn't worth taking that time off of the track where other guys, and I think I can't think of who it was, but one performance guys got in front of me and then ended up having a crash. So I was kind of like, if I pit, I don't know what's going to happen to the rest of the guys. So I just stayed out, and if it was going to get really bad or it got worse, I would have pitted. But I was managing to, keep it neatly on the track and keep out of other guys' way, and I was kind of lapping in the 1 minute 10, so I was about a second and a half off of race pace, and a lot of that was obviously 1 aero and 2 the bent steering. Josh hung out as well. We didn't really talk about it too much. We just, I guess our more strategy was in qualifying rather than in race on what each other was doing, although we knew that I was going to be stopping at the end of lap 3. Josh was going to, but then he held out, I believe, because of that first lap incident. So I think he stayed out a little bit longer. But he recovered that pretty well, and I think finished P7 or P8, something around there, which is a good comeback.
Yeah, it was definitely a good recovery. And I guess now with this race done, and you and your team are going to be very busy preparing for the Australian Endurance Championship, I think in a fortnight for the Bathurst 12 Hour, is that correct?
Yeah, Bernie, it is. We've actually got SEK this weekend, which I believe is at Spa. I think it's this weekend. I don't think they're having a break. So we've got that to worry about, although mine and Aaron's championship with that is pretty much non-existent, so not sure if we'll run that, and we'll just maybe run some laps around Bathurst. We've got the 12 hour coming up at Bathurst, which is on the date of, I can't think. 2 weeks time anyway, which is really good. We've got a lot of good interest. We've been able to open up the entries into the AEC, which has occurred because we've got more grid spots. So we've got wildcard entries coming in, and a lot of the guys are kind of picking up on going for the Class B, which is the sports prototype cars, which is the Riley Daytona. So we've really seen that grow, and we've got a few more Class C cars that are entering. That's good. Like, a lot of guys in the Australian community are showing some good interest, and obviously along with yourself, Bernie, and Adrian and RRTV doing the broadcast, it's going to be something really to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely, and it's great to see all the guys jumping on that Riley, because it's a great car. It's fun to drive, and it's good to see it's getting that support. As far as coverage goes, folks, I'm not sure how much we're going to cover of that race. It'll yet to be decided, but I'll definitely I'll know more next weekend after I've had a chat with Scott during the week. Okay, Scott, before we let you go, mate, is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, just our sponsors, Sim Racer Magazine. They've been a really integral part in the groups running and the teams running in iRacing. So I'd like to put a shout out to them. Really good sim magazine for sim racing. So you can check that out online and get it to your iPad and whatnot. Also, just to the guys at G&T, for putting on the series. I think it's really great series, and I think it will just grow. And you know, what they decide to do in the future for other rounds and whatnot will be good to see. But yeah, and obviously to you guys at RRTV for putting on the broadcast and you know, getting the Australian series some more TV time and airtime and that type of thing. So thanks to you guys as well. Oh, and a shout out to Josh. I got to give him a big shout out, because he's spent some time with me and helped me out with this car that I absolutely hated up until about 2 weeks ago, and he's jumped on board with me and given me some really good pointers and help. So I'd like to thank him for that as well.
Okay, that's excellent. So thanks, Josh, for giving Scott some tips on how to drive that car. And for those of you out there listening, pop down to your newsagent and grab a copy of Sim Racer magazine. It's a fantastic read. If your newsagent doesn't have it and you've got an iPad, you can get it on that as well. Okay, Scott, well, we'll let you go, mate, and we'll see you, Sunday night?
Yeah, possibly Sunday night, I guess. Hey, thanks, guys. Have a great night, and really good call. Well done.
Okay, we'll bring Rick Burt up for a quick chat and see how Rick's race went. Now, Rick, welcome to RRTV's commentary box. You didn't have a bad night tonight. You finished, looks like, in 10th position.
Yeah, it's the first top 10 that I've got in the Star Mazda Australian Championship, and yeah, I picked up 5 spots on the first lap, which is really unusual for me, and yeah, had a late pit stop and kept things clean, so to speak, and yeah, the results took care of themselves from there on, so very pleased.
Yeah, it was, the race tonight definitely threw a lot of curveballs at the field, and a lot of guys benefited, and a lot of guys were badly, their egos were bruised, I guess you could say. But yeah, well done. That's a first top 10, and that's a big achievement out of a field of 21, and on Sonoma. What grid position did you start at tonight?
I started at grid 15th, and yeah, got one off the line, and then got another one on before turn 1, and then got one round the outside. I think it was turn 6, and a couple more before the finish line. So very pleased with that.
Yeah, excellent. And what's your thoughts about the Star Mazda around Sonoma? Did you like it, or is it something you'd? Well, obviously you liked it. You finished in the top 10, but you tell us anyway.
Look, it's really a bogey track for me, Sonoma. Whether it be in the supercar or the Star Mazda or HPD, whatever I'm running, I don't particularly like the track. It always seemed to do well there. I don't know whether it's just through just easing off a little bit, not trying to get a PB every lap, and just keeping a clean nose. And I pitted late in this particular race because I had a nice clear track where I had 4 or 5 seconds in front and the same behind me, and I was just able to get really quick and consistent lap times, which help with a late pit strategy.
Yeah, fantastic. So before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to?
Yeah, well, thanks to the RRTV guys and Trent Thomas once again for this Star Mazda Australian Championship. My sponsors, RBR Australia, which is me, and also Rick Burt, motor mechanic in Penguin, Tasmania, which is also me. So looking forward very much to having another turn in the next week's round. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing you back on the track next Thursday night.
Yeah, can't wait. Once again, this little car is it's good fun.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it's fun to watch as well. So anyway, Rick, best of luck with your preparation for next week, and we'll see you. I think we're going to Zolder next week.
No worries, all guys. I'll be interested to have a look at your coverage, so I'm sure it'll be A+ once again. Thanks very much.
Okay, Chris, I'll bring up Trent Thomas now, the final interview for tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
Hi, Trent. Welcome to RRTV's commentary box. You had a bit of a rough night tonight out there, mate.
Yeah, cheers, Bertie. Yeah, I was trying to give a bit of room heading up through turn 3 or 4 or something like that. Hit the curb and just lost it. Managed to limp it back to the pits, and then it was just a matter of just try and go quick from there, just to try and get a fast lap or something.
Yeah, and I think your teammate retired from tonight's race. What lap was that? I've forgotten, but he was involved in quite a heavy accident and broke his rear suspension tonight. So not a good result for you guys or your team tonight, but one thing I could say is you're not the only one who suffered out there tonight. A lot of people, it was almost like a reverse grid race tonight.
Yeah, I didn't really see what was going on, to be honest. I was pretty much running by myself most of the race. I had to pit, obviously, for that damage on lap 1, then had to come in again at the end of lap 3 to serve the compulsory pit stop. Plus I was in lap traffic, or I was the lap car, but I was catching up to guys who were a lap ahead, and I didn't want to get involved in them, so that's why I went into the pits to get away from them, and then just set about just at least trying to set the fastest lap for the race, which I failed by about 0.3 of a second, I think, or 0.03 of a second.
Well, you gave it a good shot. You're pretty damn close. So, from the series perspective, tonight, how many did we have? We had 21 starters, which is a pretty good turnout for tonight. So, how do you think the series is going from the organiser type perspective?
Definitely, I think the guys are still pretty keen to show up every week. Shows by the fact that the numbers are still there at the moment. Last week I think was a bit of a spike just because of Bathurst, but yeah, we're still getting those strong numbers, so I hope the guys continue to come and race with us every week, and we'll still be around for season 2, and I'd ask the drivers to put on their thinking caps of any ideas and stuff that they might have that we could improve the series.
Yeah, definitely, and 21, and you've got a few new names in there over the last couple of rounds, so that's always great to see. Feel free not to answer this question, I'll warn you now. As far as the incidents go, can you give us the viewers some idea about, from your organising perspective, on whether you have any race stewards that look at that?
Normally post-race we try and have a look at incidents and stuff like that afterwards. Next season we'd like to have live stewarding so that we can, if there's any sort of dodgy business going on, we can penalise there on the spot. But yeah, we do have a review process. I ask the drivers, usually if they have a problem, let me know, and we can, just makes it easier to find that particular instance, and we can make a call on it.
Okay, that's good. that's a good insight into what goes on behind the scenes, folks. That's why I asked it. Chris, did you have any questions for Trent tonight?
No, I'm fine. Again, thanks Trent for hosting the series. It's great to see the participation is not just growing, but it's staying at a good level. It's great to have 20 plus drivers in a race. It makes for good commentating, good coverage, and as a driver, it's great as well. It gives you battles throughout all ranges of skill and qualifying times and all that sort of stuff as well. So thanks for putting the show on.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, I think another important thing is that there seems to be, like you said, like there's always battles going on. So even if you're not the quickest, or if you are the quickest, there's someone for you to have a battle with. And I think that's what helps people keep coming back every week. Is that it's not just a boring old, I'm just going to get beaten again. Like there's actually battles that they can have. It might be for first, it might be for fifth, it might be for 15th, but people are having battles, and I think that keeps the interest alive.
Yeah, definitely. We were, again tonight, witnessing a lot of great battles all through the field, which, as you said, it means it's great racing for the guys doing it, and it's great viewing for the guys that tune into our broadcast. So next week, I think we're off to Zolder. Is that correct, Trent?
Yeah, pretty sure it's Zolder. Hopefully we can do something about Dylan on this runaway streak that he's on. Someone else can come up with a victory. He's doing really well.
Yeah, 3 in a row now, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 3 in a row now. He's definitely on a roll.
He certainly is. Well, anyway, Trent, thanks for coming up tonight. And Chris, I guess your final thoughts on tonight's race?
Carnage. That's all I can say. It's great to see everyone still giving it their best all the way to last lap. So, and not just quitting halfway through the race. So good race. We're off to Zolder next week, and looking forward to it. Who was your driver of the night, Bernie?
Man, it's between Darren and Paul at the moment, Paul Nelson. I'm having difficulty splitting those two guys. I think probably Paul, just mainly because he had such a fantastic drive. But, they're teammates, so we could give it to them both, I guess, well, from my perspective. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I have to agree. I think Paul Nelson had the drive of the night. We kind of expect what we saw from Dylan almost every race now. So high expectations there, Dylan. You know what you're going to do next week, don't you? So, but yeah, tonight I think Paul, starting from 11th place, managed to bring it home in a podium position. Great race, and that's only going to help. I think he actually was in second position in the driver's standings before this race. So, yeah, that's going to pretty much cement that spot in there as well.
That's right, and having his teammate finish just ahead of him in second, it's going to really help the team as far as the team championship goes as well, I think, Chris.
That's right. They were actually holding down the second position in the team championship, so it's only going to cement that position even further. If not, it might even boost them up against into that first position. So see how it goes, and it's still early days. We're only at round 6 or something like that at the moment. So still a fair few races left, and it's anyone's game.
Just jump in here if I can, just to confirm that Mercury Sim Sports have taken first place in the team standings at the moment.
Well, there you go, Bernie. That's a fantastic result. You can't ask for much more than that, can you?
Exactly, and quite a few of the other teams and lead guys struggled tonight. So if they were going to capitalise on that, I think they did that tonight at Sonoma, second and third, and taking the lead in the team championship. So definitely going to be partying there for those guys tonight, Chris.
That's right, yeah, that's it. No worries.
Alright, anyway, we better wrap this up. For the viewers at home watching this, you may notice we've tried a different overlay tonight. I've taken some feedback and tried to make it more minimalistic. If you liked it or didn't like it, let me know and give me some advice on or some feedback on what you would like to see in the overlays. But anyway, turning our focus now to the weekend. RRTV will be broadcasting again this Sunday night for the SEK Queensland GT3 Endurance Series. So if you're watching the 12 hour and you want even more of a racing fix, definitely tune in. And it's great racing and it's great fun to watch. So on behalf of Trent Thomas and Chris Bean, I'm Bernie Weemers and you've been watching RRTV.